You are listening to Let's Talk Trio on podcasts. Keep up with the latest episodes by downloading the Podbean app or stream episodes via our social media accounts. Search for Let's Talk Trio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This episode is sponsored by Student Access. Student Access, the leader in Trio software. Student Access is an online database solution that allows Trio programs to track their students' information, connect with students by text messages, streamline the APR, and work from anywhere, all online, with automatic updates for changes from the Department of Education. Their technical support team includes former Trio staff and has over 50 years of combined experience working with Trio. Make it easier to focus on your priority, the students. For more information and to request a free demo, visit their website at www.studentaccess.com or call them toll-free at 1-800-801-1232. That website again is www.studentaccess.com or 1-800-801-1232. Be sure to share your favorite episodes on your social media by tapping that share button. This is a great way to support the podcast. Now here's your host, Juan Rivas.
Thank you, Amelia, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, listener, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk Trio. This is Season 7, Episode 6. I am your host, Juan Rivas. Thank you for tuning in, downloading, and streaming from your favorite podcast platform. Before we begin, an announcement. The 2025 Trio Student Access and Success Conference hosted by North Carolina Central University is happening Thursday, April 10th through Saturday, April 12th. The Trio Student Access and Success Conference is a 3-day student development conference designed to provide Trio and accessibility scholars with the opportunity to experience community engagement, academic and personal development, networking, and overall enrichment. Visit the conference website for more information and to register. The link is on the podcast description. In today's episode, we have Christina Sebastian, Trio Student Support Services participant, president of the Trio Club, and student at Dallas College. Christina is on the podcast to share her life experience, her Trio journey, and college experience. Coming up in just a bit, Christina Sebastian. A heartfelt thanks to our individual supporters, Angelica Vialpando, Rosario Riley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Jeff Nepute, Angelica Valdez, Felicia Rivera, Eric LaMaster, Jeff Kahlden, and Jaded Electronics. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, TrioJoblist.com, Nosotros Education Center, TheTrioStore.com, powered by Proforma. Visit www.thetriostore.com, your source for Trio graduation stoles, and Student Access. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can be a sponsor of the podcast. Head on over to Patreon and search for Let's Talk Trio. Choose one of 4 patron levels. You can support this podcast for as little as $1 a month. If you own a business that serves the Trio community and want to sponsor this podcast, we have different sponsorship packages available. Contact us for details. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast business PayPal account. Our business handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. Your support helps lift Trio voices. If you would like to nominate a participant, staff, or alumni to be on the podcast, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. Again, a great episode featuring Christina Sebastian, student at Dallas College, participant of the Trio Student Support Services program, and president of the Trio Club. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
Hi, Trio Nation. My guest on the Let's Talk Trio podcast is a student at Dallas College in Texas. She is a participant of the Trio Student Support Services program and currently serves as the president for the Trio Club. My guest is studying the Associative Arts in Political Science. When she is not busy with school, my guest enjoys watching movies, singing, and spending time with her family. Welcome to the podcast, Christina Sebastian. Christina, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's afternoon here, so I'm going to say good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, all of the things, right? Here in Colorado, it's still 11 a.m., so we're just getting our day started here. We are so happy to have you on, Christina. How are things with you? How are things?
It's good. I'm really trying to adapt to the semester and like make sure that my calendar is has all the things that I need to be involved in, and also make sure that my um, syllabus is going according to plan.
Right on. I like hearing that. I'm gonna just share with you that to me, January seemed to have dragged on and on. It almost feels like that every single year, but this year especially. And then you pile things that on that have happened since January 20th. It's like one thing right after another, like experiencing this kind of whiplash. How has the start of the semester been for you?
Well, it's been one thing after another, but it definitely felt longer once it started. But when it was supposed to start, it felt like it was a fire just burning through.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
don't, it's very ironic because um, with the California fires and everything. And I'm like, okay, my mind is like that right now.
Yes, I totally understand that. So, but we are still pretty early in 2025, even though January felt like it just went on forever. Did you have a list of things you want to accomplish this year, like a New Year's resolution or maybe just goals?
Yeah, I want to graduate my community college as soon as possible. Not
Uh-huh.
because I don't like it, I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to get my degree and get my bachelor's on time. I had a pretty late start in life, and so I'm just trying to figure that out and make sure that I'm going down the path that I decided for myself.
That's wonderful. So you're graduating this semester.
Yeah, hopefully.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Um, so let's talk about the your hobbies that you have. You like watching movies, you like singing. Is there a particular song that you like to sing, or are there more original songs that you're thinking up in your head?
No, I like singing along with artists. As of late, I've been singing along with Ariana Grande and
Oh, right on.
Sabrina Carpenter. It has not been, yeah, it has been parental advisory only. So,
That's awesome. But how did you get into that hobby, like singing? Did it just kind of come naturally to you? Is it something that you do, or was it that something that you were already introduced to formally, like you had some training?
oh no, singing, I'm always been a bathroom singer, and so it was like a way of like escaping the noise that generally when you live in a city like in India,
Hmm.
um that's where I'm from. And so you always have people just talking and there's so much noise everywhere, and
Hmm.
that was like a way of escaping that noise. And I would
Hmm.
like sing and put my music on, and no one else really listened to that music except me and my sister. And
Hmm.
so it was like a real escape from reality. Yeah.
You also like to watch movies. Is there a particular genre that you enjoy, or is there a favorite movie that you like come to every time and again?
I like watching cartoon movies. I like every genre of movie, really. But
Hmm.
I think I find myself watching Coco over and over again.
Coco is such a deep movie. It really is.
It really is. It's not for kids. I mean, it's probably for kids, but like it's also for adults.
Absolutely. What are some things that motivates you?
For one, it would be my family. Because of our immigrant status, and I have always felt the need to improve myself and do the best for my family and make sure that we're all growing together. Not just one of us, but always like everyone keeps going, no matter what, because we really need to grow. And we didn't move from another country to be the same in this country. So we want to be like on the top. Yeah.
Mhm. I like that feeling of like you got to feel like you're moving up socially, right? Like there's this social movement slash like moving upwards, and not settling for just for less.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell me a little bit about your campus? You go to a Dallas college. What do you like most about it?
We have various campuses, and I think my orientation was in North Lake campus in Irving, Texas. And ever since then, I really haven't fallen in love with any other campus because this campus has like a lake in the middle of in the middle of a
That
garden, and
sounds
there's just
really neat.
so many things. Yeah, it is amazing. It's so pretty in the spring,
Hmm.
and you always see people around no matter what day it is.
That's wonderful. We're going to rewind the clocks a bit, and this is my favorite part of the podcast is uh, when the trio folks get to share a little bit about themselves. Can you tell us about your family and what that dynamic is like?
My parents didn't get much of an education because my mom was married early and my dad had to work. He started working when he was, I think, 16 or
Oh,
something
wow.
like that.
Hmm.
He's never clear about when he started working, but uh, that's how dads are. They just
Absolutely.
trying to protect your family and make sure that you're being fed and um you're being alive.
Right, right.
And because of that, my mom always taught us the importance of an education. She said, no matter how old you grow, make sure that you're doing everything you can in that field, the one that you choose. Just make sure that you're always the top and like read how much ever you can, like learn it and get a degree. If you want to get a PhD, then go for it.
Mhm. It
And
sounds, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, it's okay. My brother recently graduated from the University of Texas at Dallas.
Hmm.
Um, and he has his I IT management degree, which is like a master's, and he's the first one in our family to have a master's, and we are so proud of him. And it's amazing how far we have come, and because of our mom's motivation, we were able to like push through and make sure that we got that degree. And now, 4 years later, his sisters, like me and my sister, we are also like trying to get our bachelor's and then go on to do our degree, master's. So
That is amazing. So already the first generation kind of path is has been laid out by your brother, and y'all are following. Like that's a path that you want to continue on. So and
yeah,
then that's awesome that he served as an inspiration.
yeah.
And it also sounds like your mother plays a huge vital role in emphasizing education. Um, I'm going to take a moment to ask, how would your family describe you?
They describe me as a passionate person, kind, and a little bit of a mad hatter.
Mad Hatter, why?
Because I can get a little bipolar sometimes. Like I can be really happy one time,
Uh-huh.
and then I could be like when they stop paying attention to me, I would get mad at them. And that definitely got their attention. So
Um, is education, and we covered a little bit that your mom really places a lot of importance in education, but can you tell us overall, does the family put a lot of importance in education?
yeah, my aunt has about like a few degrees herself.
Mm,
And so that was like a push to say, oh, and you have to get as many degrees as possible. Like you're gonna, or you won't get a job. My mom found a hard time to find a job when she was like, because she was a housewife for like a few years after she got married.
hmm.
And that really set her down in life. And like she couldn't move up because she couldn't get that degree she wanted. She had a
Hmm.
family, she had a kid, and she did her best to raise us. And it was not a solo job, of course, but I feel like she put a lot of effort into making sure that we didn't feel like anything was less in our lives.
Hmm.
And if she had gotten that degree, if she had gotten that bachelor's degree, then she would have probably been in a better position and she wouldn't have to work as hard now in her life.
Hmm. What are some of your favorite memories growing up?
Well, it was mostly the summers I spent with my twin sister.
Hmm.
Um, we're very identical. I'll just make sure I say this because people see us in public and they're like, "Oh, wait, did I meet you or the other one?"
Wait, they confuse you with your sister sometimes?
Yeah, a lot of times, and they're like, "Oh, what's the difference between you two?" And we usually come up with saying that we're cousins, we're not related to each other. stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, and being a twin really changes how your life goes. Because I think for a lot of people, they don't grow up with a twin, and
Hmm.
um, so they have to find friends, they have to find a social circle. And I didn't find that for myself because I always felt like my twin was enough. And
Hmm.
we were like best friends. And so we would do everything together. And and as being girls, I think my mom was a little protective of us as we grew up, but she always like pushed us to do like beyond um our gender roles, but she was always like you guys should spend time together. Like even if we fought, she would like you have to kiss and make up.
Hmm.
And I really loved reading books.
Uh-huh.
So she bought me a book called Jataka Tales in I think I was in sixth grade, yeah. And I read that book 100 times, I think.
Really?
And it's like, yeah, this book is like a moral stories, like be how to be a human and how to be kind and what we shouldn't do in life. And it was like a book of morals. And
Hmm.
so I loved reading that, and I would always borrow books from the library. I would spend midnight like I was 6 years I was 10 years old, and I would spend my nights finishing a novel and then going back to the library and getting another book.
Hmm.
A little
Wow.
bit of nerdy, but not the right kind of nerdy. You know what I'm saying?
But it felt like you really spent your time to read and know, and you were curious, right?
Yeah, I really loved diving into the stories that authors wrote so I can like see what they're thinking. And I would I know I was pretty young, but I felt like what was going through their head when they were writing that at that
Hmm.
moment.
Wow. So you really put yourself in the like at the author's shoe. Like, what were you thinking when you wrote this line or this entire paragraph or this entire story? That's awesome.
Exactly. So like how do you come up with that kind of thought? Like what was going in your life that you could come up with that?
What do you remember about school? Was it something you enjoyed, or did it seem like a task for you?
Oh my God. I hated school.
Really?
I couldn't wait to graduate.
Uh-huh.
Like when everyone was crying at basically prom or graduation, they were like, so we don't really have prom or anything, so graduation is basically our prom. And so everyone was crying about leaving, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I have to go home now. I want to leave.
So you were the anti, like, yeah, that's okay. That's they really don't need to hold on to that memory.
Oh yeah, but that kind of set me in my life to do like extracurricular activities like outside of school, and which is why like now I find myself doing a lot more activities than I was doing when I was younger.
Hmm.
And I have that confidence to say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this stuff. Like I I before I was shy about it, and now I have the confidence."
Right on. Do you have any teachers or any favorite teachers that stand out?
Uh, I would say my mom was my best teacher.
Okay, yeah.
Mm. And my brother, he was a little bit of a stricter side. He he would teach me math and I would end up crying or laugh because I would
Oh
laugh so
no.
much because I was so nervous, you know, and I would laugh so much that I would cry. And then he would pinch me. He'd be like, you have to focus on math because
Yeah.
I never liked this math. And so he would try to teach me and it was a complete failure.
Oh man, I am so sorry. It sounds like then you had like a resistance to school and education. It just felt like there was a resistance there.
Yeah, I never felt like I wanted to do math or science in my life. I always
Hmm.
felt more drawn to the real world aspects, like more like how economy works, how people
Ah.
do day-to-day stuff.
Hmm. So more practical.
Yeah, I was more a practical person, yeah.
So in regards of extracurricular activities, because if like the science and math wasn't getting you, were there any extracurricular activities that did really speak to you?
Um, we did have a lot of activities in school,
Mm-hmm.
but I I don't want to point it out that they were being extra special with some students, and that really felt like like something that I didn't want to participate in. I didn't encourage that, but I did participate, but I would never win, and that sort of like put down my confidence a lot, and because of that, it took me a while to get out there and be myself.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about your time in high school? What do you remember most about it?
I remember coming back home in my bicycle with my sister. We would always, since we were always together, um, and I would pet all the dogs in like
Really?
on my way. It was like a 2 mile. My school was 2 miles from my home, and
Mm-hmm.
so we had a lot of street dogs. Like anywhere in India you go, you would have a family of street dogs,
Wow.
and occasionally they would have puppies, and so I would get so distracted by them. I think I spent like half an hour.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just petting them. I would just sit there on the road, on the path, like people would just pass by, and I would be petting that dog.
Um, I know that you said that while in school, it was like this feeling of you couldn't wait to graduate. What was it about um, life after high school that enticed you the most? Like, what were you ready to do after high school?
I felt like I had a lot more exposure to the real world. Like I could interact with people. You didn't have that kind of social life when you're in school. You only know these certain people, and you're going to school with them every day,
Hmm.
5 days a week, and it was it was always that circle. And so I was ready to go out there and meet people, be social, and just like learn how to interact and communicate.
When did you start thinking about college?
Ever since I knew that my family was planning to move to the US, that played a really big role in my life because
Hmm.
um, the US is like the American dream. Everyone wants to come here. Everyone wants to live the good life.
Hmm.
And I never knew the reality of it because I never spoke to someone who had moved like that.
Hmm.
And because the economy is just constantly changing.
For sure.
And so it was a long shot, but I would always dream of how college would be here and how I'd like to take classes and live on my own, like get my own apartment. And I always knew that I wanted to do a lot in my life. And
Hmm.
because of my experiences back in India, it really helped me make those decisions concrete.
Who did you talk to about college?
My siblings, for the most part, I would tell my sister about what it would be like to live in an apartment or a dorm and how it would feel to like take classes from professors that have PhDs. And
Yeah, right, right.
yeah, it was a really simple fantasy, but I felt a lot of happiness in thinking about that progress and that future and the betterment of my education. I always felt happy to like think about things that would um, bring progress in my life.
It sounds like you were really, one, looking forward to getting a college education, but two, really emphasizing the part of a transition for you to have this independent life, to be more in participating in the world.
Yeah, I felt like in India it was restricted, like women are subjected to get married once they get an education, and so there's
Hmm.
no point in that. But here you can change your career at any point,
Hmm.
and being a woman doesn't change um that that educational dynamic, and the social dynamic. You can get married when you want, you can have kids, you can not have kids. It's just your own decisions. That's just the independency of it all just really attracted me.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Are you seeking guidance to enhance your trio project's effectiveness and success? Look no further. Nosotros Education Center, NEC, is here to empower your TRIO project with expert consulting services. NEC's mission is to promote the effectiveness and impact of TRIO programs. Since 2003, NEC has specialized in providing professional development and in-service staff trainings, allowable cost services, for TRIO projects across the country. The team at NEC, with over 60 years of combined TRIO experience, offers customized workshops and seminars for project staff, compliance assessments, external evaluations, working on and submitting APRs, database customization and training, development of policies and procedures manuals, and project implementation or reorganization services. Additionally, NEC has secured over $774 million in federal funding with a 92% success rate through their live and on-demand proposal workshops, assistance with data collection and review, detailed technical reviews, and comprehensive proposal development services. Join the hundreds of colleges, agencies, and TRIO projects across the country who benefited from NEC's expertise. Nosotros Education Center, your partner in TRIO's project success. Visit their website at nosotros.edu.org. Again, that's nosotrosedu.org.
And now, back to the podcast.
I imagine that the conversations about college either made you more aware about what to expect, or for some students, it gives them anxiety. How did you feel about talking after you talked about college? How did you feel afterwards?
I didn't know the first the first step that I needed to do. I was just going all over the place about what I should do. I would read a lot of websites and about what I should do and how I should go on about doing that. And then it really gave me some onset anxiety. But then when it came to, it was so much easier and it just it was a smooth flow of progress.
Hmm.
And first, I when I decided to move here, um, I had decided to go to UNT, a four-year college, but that changed when I went to their orientation and I saw, oh my God, that's expensive. Like, how am I supposed to pay this for 4 years?
Hmm.
And then my aunts who had gone to community college in their life, they said, "Oh, you should try community college. That would be so much cheaper for you, and you can probably save some money before you go to a 4 year." And and so I discovered community college. It was like this whole web of things that I I didn't even know existed.
Hmm.
And they were really supportive. Like community college, they were like every person I went to, they would tell me where I should go, what I should do, and it didn't feel like they were always holding my hand, and it didn't feel like I was alone in anything.
Hmm. What colleges made your list?
Texas A&M was like my top priority,
Hmm.
but I think, and then I got admitted into UNT, and I was like, okay, I need to look for cheaper options. And
Hmm.
then Texas A&M came back into my options because they have different institutions under their name, and so that one's like so much affordable, and um, it still has the same meaning. So.
Oh, that's awesome. When you finally decided on what colleges to take, what type of support did you get to help you in that college path?
At first it was it was a step-by-step progress. And so once I got through admissions, they were like, you should go to success coaching, and then success coaching said you should go to financial aid. And all of these people really helped me like get my courses, what I need to do for financial aid. And it just really gave me a set of instructions that I should follow. And because of that, I was able to follow it. And then I discovered Trio SSS. And oh my God, it's been like, I think I've been actively involved for over 6 months now.
Uh-huh.
And it's been amazing. Like, the number of people I've met, and like Trios has really helped me get out there. It really made my dreams like shape my reality.
That is amazing. I love that when you either find trio or trio finds you, that it really makes those changes almost overnight, right? You start feeling that you know a little bit more about the college journey, you're more aware about what you're doing, and you have coaches that are really helping out. Um, in that process of college, did you talk to the trio folks about the colleges that you wanted to continue in, or what your college options were?
Yeah, I did. They did help me plan out my degree. They've been really helpful and supportive. They would have, they have campus tours, which really like gives you like a look into other colleges. If you're interested in one college, you can still look at other colleges and decide, oh, which would be the best fit for you. And
Hmm.
so TO SSS has campus tours, which really helps narrow your options down. You're like, oh, this college has this, and they have a trio program, and that would be helpful in my next journey.
Hmm.
And they really helped out in like navigating what your next step should be after graduation.
Can you talk about the moment you graduated from high school? What did that moment mean for you and for your family?
It was a relief,
Hmm.
but the time that I graduated, I it was around 2021, and we were about the end of the pandemic,
Mm.
and we were waiting on our US visa, and that took a long time. But I was really in panic about what I wanted to do, and I used to look for jobs all every day. I was like 18 years old,
Hmm.
and I would look for jobs, and then I finally found the job, and I I worked there for over 2 years before I moved here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons, I know we've talked about this already, but I really like to get to hear one of the reasons why you chose Dallas College. What was it about this school that really just spoke to you?
For one, commute and the tuition. Definitely, those two were on my top of my list. And so when I was exploring colleges, community colleges that I wanted to go to,
Hmm.
I discovered that Dallas College had programs that I wanted, and it was not a far commute, and their tuition was really good. Like is really good. And so I was like, okay, let me check them out and see if I want to go. And if I do, then there's no loss in that. And unfortunately, they only have 2 year programs. Like community colleges only have 2 year programs. And so I listened with my gut and I was like, okay, I will go with Dallas College.
Right on. What preparations did you make, or were you already ready for your first semester?
I had 3 months left before I started my semester. And
Hmm.
so my granddad helped me find a job in a warehouse. And I really learned hard work when I joined the warehouse. I was like, okay, this is what hard work really is.
Uh-huh.
And living with my grandparents at the time really helped me save a lot of money for to pay for my classes. And I was really worried about that. And I would have anxiety about like at night I would stay up just thinking about how I would pay for college. And so during those months, I try to save as much as possible and put that into my education.
That is awesome. So you really took time, one, to experience and getting another job, and getting that experience and going, yeah, it's hard work. It's something I definitely don't want to do. And you continued onto your educational journey. Can you talk about your first semester experience? What did you enjoy the most about being at Dallas College?
I was really worried that I won't do well in my classes.
Hmm.
And I had a history class, which I really enjoyed because that was the first time I was learning about American history. And it was really easy to understand because my professor would put it in a way that everyone understood. He was not biased or like he knew that everyone came from different backgrounds and they were learning about American history for the first time. And
Hmm.
so he would go the extra mile to give as much information possible without being in over our heads.
Hmm.
Yeah, he would talk about he was really um had visual. Like he would make sure that we had our screens on, like we could see our syllabus. He put the whole syllabus out in a way that we can see our progress as we go, and he made it really easy for us to navigate.
Sounds like you had a really like invested professor who really want to make sure you were successful in your class.
Yeah, all my professors are really invested, but I chose to do online classes because it's just so much easier than commuting on a hot sunny day
Oh my gosh,
to
yes, especially in Dallas.
yeah.
Can you tell this audience, because you're currently seeking your associates in political science, why did you choose this program?
I always wanted to be a lawyer, and
Oh, right on, yeah.
so I thought political science is the way to go. But then I realized I wanted to do corporate law, and so if I wanted to do corporate law, a business degree would probably do me better in the
Uh-huh.
long run. But still, I wanted to get my political science degree because, like, what if I want to be a politician one day? Like, what if I decide, oh, enough is enough. I'm doing this for the community. I'm going to be more involved and become a politician.
Yeah. For the listeners who may not know, because you can pretty much specialize in any area of law, right? Because when people think about lawyers, they're just like a general lawyer, but every lawyer has a specialization. Can you tell us about the differences between what a corporate law lawyer versus like any other, or what is the specialization of the corporate law lawyer? What do they know?
They know more about the industry and the economy. Like they're always they're the ones that take care of problems, make it go away when it's
Mm,
big time problems.
right
And
on.
it yeah, so in corporate law it's more I don't know how to put this.
Describe it as best you can.
Yeah. I really enjoyed watching movies, and so like I think most of my information about corporate is probably from that. And at this point, after doing the warehouse job, I was like, okay, I want a desk job forever. And so I was like,
Mhm. Have
yeah,
you yeah, Christina, have you watched like the show Suits?
I have, yeah, I really
I
enjoy that.
That's what I picture when I think about corporate law.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can have my own law firm one day
That'd be
and have
amazing.
photogenic
Yeah.
memory.
So when did you learn about Trio? When did that happen for you?
I was walking around the campus like a lot my first semester because I was always waiting on my brother to pick me up and I couldn't drive back then. And so I was walking around and I would see these flyers saying, stop by the trio office for Cola Wednesday. And it
Mm.
was something that the club was doing. And
Uh-huh.
Cola Wednesday is this thing where we put out drinks and snacks for our trio students, and they can come get it because in between classes, and just grab some and go to their classes or home. And so I was like, okay, that looks interesting.
Mhm.
And I approached them, and they were like, okay, you have to fill out a form. And I filled out the form. They called me in for a pre-interview, and then it was a long time ago.
Mm. It feels like a long time ago, huh?
It really was like in June, I think around June or something
Hmm.
like that. Yeah.
Who are your trio mentors?
All of the staff members, working with them has really brought me closer to them. Um, can I mention their names?
Oh, of course you can, yes.
Cassie Webb, Mary De Jesus, Tanisha Taylor, and Charles Purdy. They're always such diamonds in my life. They're like, they're a really supportive group of people, and I couldn't get more positive energy from them. Like
Hmm.
they've always been so positive.
I love that. What do you like about Trio?
They're very because of the staff, the program really becomes what it is meant to be. Because I know Trio helps a lot of people in their academics and their degree planning, their campus tours. We just the program has a variety of things that you can get help with. Like
Hmm.
it's college, but in a single program.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Trio, because of the staff, it felt very welcoming, and it felt like I don't have to do this alone.
Absolutely. What is something that Trio helped you with?
So they had a opening for a part-time student assistant, and so Miss Cassie really encouraged me to apply. She was like, "You have to apply for that." And after that, I applied, and then she did my interview, and then they really helped me get that job because I was in a place where I didn't want to do the warehouse job anymore. It was just so tiring with my college and my I was working full time. I was doing my full time student and it just felt like a lot. And they were they called me right at the time that I was feeling so overwhelmed. And so giving me that part time job really helped me focus on my studies and bring up my GPA.
You were also elected as the president for this club recently. Your term ends, you said, at the end of this semester. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
What are your remaining goals as you finish up your term? What do you hope to accomplish as president of the Trio Club?
I think as president, I really want a lot of my trio peers to be more involved in the club and in college. I think at the end of the semester, I want to make sure that the connections I've made, they keep that progress going in the club. But right now, it's a little unsturdy because we're just thinking about what our situation is going to be like once the executive order goes through or like if or since the Department of Education is like, oh, we don't need a trio program and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and people are anxious about that, and we're just reassuring them like it's okay, we have to take a minute because there's solutions to everything.
Absolutely. I think that uncertainty definitely contributes to the fear and anxiety. For the audience that doesn't know, the executive orders that have been recently passed by the Trump administration has caused a lot of
Yeah.
confusion, right, Christina, about where does Trio stand in all this?
Yeah, it really does. Like we are all so confused. Just like there's so many lives at stake and so many jobs, and there are people employed by the program, and they're given the grants, and this grant is not sitting there simply. It's going to students. It's
Right.
going into the lives of these students, and
Hmm.
so it's important to know that it does have an impact on people.
Absolutely agree. 100%. How many semesters do you have left to complete your program?
This is possibly my last semester, but I'm not ready to let go of Dallas College yet. I
Uh-huh.
want to do another degree. I just want to stay as long as possible.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I think we were talking pre-show. You said that you're currently doing your associates in political science, that you might be doing a bachelor's right after. So, Dallas College, it offers a bachelor's path.
It offers a bachelor's path for other programs like nursing and uh, early childhood education,
Uh-huh.
but right now they don't have a program for political science, but I think in the future they would definitely have a lot more four-year programs. But I was thinking I could do another associates because that would really help me take the classes I needed in a community college
Hmm.
and also do my bachelor's degree at the same time.
That's wonderful. What's next after you graduate?
Uh, I plan to go to a four-year and get that desk job.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I'm really worried at the moment about what my financial situation is going to be like. That really
Hmm.
has a lot of stress on students, a lot more than they realize, because the financial aid system is such a huge part in a lot of students' life. It just helps them. Like, if financial aid wasn't there, I wouldn't have a work study position, and I wouldn't have my tuition, like half of it covered, or the whole thing covered. Like, it's a lot of stress for students just trying to live in the economy. Like, we are supposed to be independent after a certain age, according
Hmm.
to society. But if we cannot do that, then how long is this progress going to take? It's just so uncertain right now.
Absolutely. And I hope that we continue to get clarification and that these programs are supported because, as you said, they're literally lifelines for students to help them from one semester to the next.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, Christina, I wish you all the best as you continue forward with your educational goals.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, what advice do you have for TRIO staff that are listening to this podcast?
We cannot lose our hope despite the situation we're in. The program has helped students for over 60 years, and over, like, it's been a long time that it's been around. And so we need to make sure that we are empowering the youth and just making sure that they are still on their college path, no matter what happens to the program. Like, there could be solutions that are different. We can always come up with solutions. There are so many things that we could do right now as trio supporters, and just make sure that we seek that resolution and bring that for students, for the people that want trio, the people that are involved in trio.
What about advice you have for TRIO participants listening to the podcast? So, peers like yourself.
Oh my God, just stick to college. Don't leave. Even if you're in a hard situation, don't leave, because college helps you get that degree, and it really helps you go forward in life, because you don't want to be working at 60 years old in a warehouse, and like you're going to be tired,
Hmm.
or in a fast food worker. Like, it can be so hard. I know a
Hmm.
lot of people, we are still required to do those jobs, but if you're going to get a college degree, you stop, that's just so much progress that you could have made, and you could be bringing generational wealth to your family. So, like, keep at it.
That is so true. That's great advice. What is something that you're reading, listening to, or watching?
Right now, I'm watching the series called Younger on Netflix. It's really funny and it's really short, so it really makes it easy to watch. But so the reason I started watching it, because I was watching Dexter, and as a lot of people know, Dexter is like really gore and just
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
just it's Florida summertime all the time. So I'm just trying to get over that, and I'm also listening to the Army Hammer Time podcast.
Mhm.
They, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but it's fun sometimes.
What do you like most about that podcast?
I would say the honesty. Like, so this guy is a celebrity that was basically canceled, and so he came up with a podcast, and now he's talking about his journey and how it's quite empowering. Honestly, it's just I know that he accepts that he had hardships. Like, although he had the celebrity, the whole high and mighty thing, he
Mhm.
came down. He got dragged down to earth, and now how he's coping with that is completely up to him, and how people can move on with their lives no matter where at what point they start.
Absolutely. Describe yourself using only one word.
Ambitious.
I like that. Ambitious. It is very evident that you are very ambitious.
Thank you.
Christina, it has been a pleasure to learn about you, to hear about your trio journey. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yes, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for having me. It's been very it's been so fun, honestly. I haven't laughed this much. Indeed.
I've enjoyed hearing your story. So yes, we'd love to have you on again. We have a tradition on the podcast where we have the guest sign off. Do you care to do the honors?
Of course. Hi, this is Christina Sebastian, and I'm a trio participant and a student at Dallas College. I am a president of the Trio Club and currently majoring in political science. I will graduate in spring 2025, and Trio definitely works.
Are you a participant, alum, or staff of a Trio program? Do you want your program highlighted? You or your program could be featured in an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Trio. Get a hold of us by going to our Facebook page or Instagram and send us a direct message. Search for Let's Talk Trio. We want to get your story to the public.
You just heard from our guest, Christina Sebastian, student at Dallas College, participant of Trio Student Support Services Program, and president of the Trio Club. Thank you, Christina, for being on the podcast and for sharing your Trio journey. Remember, if you would like to be on the Let's Talk Trio podcast or know a staff, advocate, participant, or alumni, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. A heartfelt thanks to our individual supporters, Angelica Vialpando, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jeff Nepute, Angelica Valdez, Rosario Riley, Felicia Rivera, Eric LaMaster, Jeff Kahlden, and Jaded Electronics. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, TrioJoblist.com, Nosotros Education Center, The Trio Store, powered by Proforma. Visit www.thetriostore.com, your source for Trio graduation stoles, and Student Access. Thank you all so much for your continued support of this podcast. You too can sponsor the Let's Talk Trio podcast in one of three ways. Become a monthly patron on Patreon. Our base level starts at $1 a month. Become a corporate sponsor by placing an ad on the podcast. Contact us for details. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast PayPal account. Our business handle is @Let'sTalkTrio. I'd like to take a moment to thank our honorary members of the Let's Talk Trio podcast, Roderick Chambers, Tony Ho, Scott Kendall, and Susan Cramp. The Let's Talk Trio podcast team is John Russell, audio engineer, music producer and composer, and post-production editor. Amelia Castañeda, script supervisor, marketing manager, social media manager, and producer. Juan Rivas, executive producer and host. Be sure to follow the Let's Talk Trio podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. This episode was recorded Saturday, February 8th, 2025. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.